The league is seeking a significant, that's the word he used, suspension of Deshaun Watson. And more civil suits being added with more details that are vile if true. And Watson is doing a dreadful job talking about it. Dreadful.
This week is going to be very make it or break it for Deshaun Watson, and more so the Cleveland Browns, because following this week, we're going to understand how long Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended for. And it seems like the NFL has already leaked its potential target date for Deshaun Watson to be suspended. And what they are going to be arguing for is way worse than their target date. Now, Cleveland Browns fans are not going to like the information in this video. I'm going to do my best to get you guys about 3 days worth of news and package it all together in this video so you guys can be caught up to the Deshaun Watson situation and be prepared for arbitration, which is going to take place on Tuesday. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The last time we discussed the Deshaun Watson situation, we talked about the fact that he was able to close out 20 out of his 24 civil cases. That means there are only 4 unsettled lawsuits remaining against Deshaun Watson. However, despite everything that's been going on, at this point, there's only 2 things we really know about Deshaun Watson. One, he's not going to see jail time because the cases against him are currently just civil lawsuits. But the one question that we want to be answered is, how long is Deshaun Watson going to be suspended for? Well, on Saturday, we got information that Deshaun Watson is going to have a disciplinary hearing scheduled for Tuesday, which means finally, after all this time, we're going to get some answers in regards to what is going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Now, the NFL and the NFL Players Association appointed a disciplinary officer by the name of Sue L. Robinson, and on Tuesday, she is going to be listening as the NFL expects to push for a quote-unquote lengthy suspension for Deshaun Watson while the NFLPA defends the Cleveland Browns quarterback. Now, Watson has been accused of harassing, assaulting, or touching 26 women during massage appointments when he was with the Houston Texans. The NFL is likely to base its proposed discipline on only a fraction of those women's testimony, one source said, as the league was unable to speak with a number of women who interacted with Watson. Now, Robinson has no track record of ruling on cases involving NFL players. The one source said her decision could come within a week, or it could also take until training camp. The NFL hopes for clarity on this case before training camp begins in late July. Once Robinson rules, Deshaun Watson will have the option to appeal whatever the punishment might be, and then the article gives some information in regards to who Robinson is. She's a former member of Delaware's District Court for more than 25 years. She is now one of the most influential people of the upcoming 2022 season because of this Deshaun Watson case, and she primarily has worked on cases involving patent disputes, including the billion-dollar stent litigation, but also numerous trademark infringement and antitrust matters. So this is just the background information in regards to Deshaun Watson's hearing. Now, at the same time, we've been hearing a lot of rumors in regards to this subject, and probably one of the most terrifying rumors that we are hearing comes to us from a very reputable publication, and that's the Wall Street Journal. Now, my buddy Jordan Football actually tweeted this out for us, and it's actually like the first sentence that you see under the Wall Street Journal when you open up the article, and it's the fact that Deshaun Watson's misconduct hearing is set to begin, and the NFL is preparing to make its case for one of the stiffest suspensions in the sport's history. The NFL is pushing for an indefinite suspension that would last no shorter than 1 year for Watson. People familiar with the matter said that would mean that he would be out for 1 season at least before he could apply to be reinstated. Yeah, I didn't purchase this article. I felt like that was the information that mattered the most to me. Now, an indefinite suspension, here's the scary part about all of this. Apparently, the NFLPA is going to be pushing and arguing for only a 1-year suspension. Now, the reason why this is so scary is because you have the NFL arguing that it should be longer than a year. Indefinite suspension could be potentially something historic like 2 years, which I don't believe we've ever seen in the NFL for a player of Deshaun Watson's caliber. Yes, I've heard of players like Justin Blackmon, who unfortunately got suspended indefinitely due to his extracurricular activities off of the field, which is honestly a huge tragedy because Justin Blackmon was so freaking good at football, but I can't recall of a superstar NFL player that is getting paid the most bizarre contract in the NFL right now. Yes, I know Aaron Rodgers is technically earning more than Deshaun Watson, but this is a man that sat out for an entire season and then came back. Well, technically didn't come back, but once the criminal lawsuits against Deshaun Watson got dismissed, got offered the craziest contract, a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed deal, got traded to the Cleveland Browns for 3 first-round picks and more, and now can potentially be suspended for, at minimum, for 1 year, possibly even longer. Bear in mind, we've heard from Josina Anderson in the past that the NFL has been heavily influenced by the fact that the MLB gave a historic suspension to Trevor Bauer, and this report that we are giving you is very consistent with that. The fact that the NFL would be pursuing a suspension that is just as punitive as what the MLB did with Trevor Bauer, which, like I said before, man, if this happens, it might be the most Cleveland Browns thing that I've ever heard in NFL history. And this isn't the only time we've heard this. We actually heard this 3 days ago as well. And this is coming from us via the Pro Football Network, via Dove Kleiman. Sources tell PFN that the NFL Players Association are concerned that Browns QB Deshaun Watson will be suspended for the entire 2022 season, if not indefinitely. And this is the official article. Browns are awaiting a lengthy suspension for Watson. There is concern from the NFL Players Association that the league will look to suspend the former Clemson standout for the entire 2022 season, if not indefinitely. Should that happen, the Browns are expected to go forward with Jacoby Brissett rather than try to reconcile with Baker Mayfield. Oh my God, man. If this happens, this has to be by far the biggest fumble that I think I've ever seen from the Cleveland Browns, and that is saying something. I mean, if you just look at the Cleveland Browns team, so far, every offseason move has been pretty on point. Trading for Amari Cooper and the compensation they had to give up to get Amari Cooper, bringing back Jadeveon Clowney, who even said in an interview that he's mainly coming back to play with Deshaun Watson, and hell, even David Bell's looking like a stud in training camp so far. The one move that was incredibly aggressive, and maybe too aggressive, arguably, as they kind of swung for the fences with this move, was trading the compensation that they traded for Deshaun Watson so they could upgrade from Baker to Deshaun Watson. And they did that before any punishment was given to Deshaun Watson. And what's even crazier about this is this won't be the first time where a team with Super Bowl aspirations is going to lose its starting quarterback and then hope Jacoby Brissett could take them to the promised land. This happened a few years ago when Andrew Luck unexpectedly announced his retirement in the preseason. So the fact that this is all happening is absolute insanity and very unfortunate if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. So obviously this isn't what the Cleveland Browns were hoping for. If this was to happen, Baker Mayfield wants nothing to do with the Cleveland Browns at this point. I mean, they absolutely burnt their bridges with Baker Mayfield at this point. If I was the Cleveland Browns, if Deshaun Watson did get suspended for the rest of the season, I would hit up the San Francisco 49ers and try to acquire Jimmy Garoppolo at the very minimum. I think Jimmy G would actually give the Cleveland Browns a chance at hopefully trying to contend in some capacity. Yes, he's not nearly as good as Deshaun Watson, but I do think he would have been better than Baker Mayfield. And with respect to Jacoby Brissett, I think he'd also be better than Jacoby Brissett. Needless to say, man, the worst part about this entire situation, like I've said in previous videos, is the fact that Deshaun Watson's cap hit is the smallest this year. It's only about $10 million. So this is a year where the Cleveland Browns could afford to pay star players the amount of money that they're seeking. This is easily the best team that they could put around Deshaun Watson. And he might be suspended for this year at the very minimum. It sounds like no matter what, he is going to be suspended for this year and maybe even longer. So it's a very unfortunate situation if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. And for all you know, maybe when Tuesday comes around, we get more clarity into the situation, because the sooner we know, the sooner the Cleveland Browns could act accordingly. But this entire situation is absolutely bizarre at that. So let me know in the comment section down below, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, how are you feeling about this situation? Do you think the potential rumored punishment of a at minimum 1 year long suspension is warranted, or do you think it's a little bit too intense? Do you think it's more likely that he gets suspended for longer? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.